Welcome back my amigos, I'm ZefulBlocks, and I'll show you how to play Pike in Albion Online. Just a quick note that as of today, 22nd of February 2026, soldier armor is still the same and haven't been nerfed. I absolutely blame the devs, but I expected that. What do you think would happen when you put pink-haired fatstone nose ring retards in a position to control our gameplay? Pay attention to this quote from a great philosopher who lived 5,000 years ago in Austin, Texas, USA. You build 100 bridges and suck one dick. You are a dick sucker and not a bridge builder. Now you are sucking 100 dicks and build one bridge. What are you? Ubisoft. That's what you are. In this case, SPI. Okay, enough complimenting the dev team and let's talk about the build. Oh, quick update, they actually fixed it. Never mind. Shoes of Tenacity with the ability Blind Spot. This is a fancy one with a low cooldown, very spammable. Go invis momentarily and the next time you deal damage it comes with a bit of bonus damage. OGs remember, we used to take this to hardcore expeditions. Now the invis doesn't work on mobs anymore. Cleric rope. It has a shield protecting you from the bursts and a massive bonus damage boost because of the fact that it is a cloth type chest piece. Another layer of defense on many other layers we have. Hunter Hood with the ability Retaliate, which reflects most of the incoming damage whilst also making you tankier. Okay, let me just get this off of my chest. This seems like a safer space, right guys? I like lesbians as much as the next guy, but being bi is a lie. I mean, how can you go from sucking tits to sucking dicks? With the usual suspect for the cape, third foot cape. For constant pressure. For potion and food, we bring the Giga Chat combo, Gigantify plus stew combo. Now for the main course, the main weapon. Today we are cosplaying as Vlad Dracul and start impaling people. Talking about Dracul, apparently vampires and aliens are real. What a start to 2026. Trump is truly the content president. I just tell you that I will probably lose my mind when they say Agartha and Yakub are real. Q, the Spirit Spear. Second option, gives auto attack damage and auto attack range while also applying a spirit charge on you, which that also gives some damage. Hand in hand with Shoes of Tenacity and Thetford Cape are great tools making sure you deal the damage you need. W. There are multiple choices. Forest of Spears, first option. Another show of the devs' great naming skills. Deals the most damage if you can actually channel the full duration. Deflecting Spin, fourth option. The most annoying one for them to deal with. Similar to your hood but better. Reflects the damage and recovers energy. Impaler, fifth option. Basically deals damage and slows. Good range, low cooldown. It's a skill shot though, so take ping into consideration. E. Rooting Smash. Deals a lot of damage, more damage with more spirit charges. It doesn't consume the charges unlike the normal spear, so keep that in mind, whilst being a 15-second cooldown ability, so make sure to use it as soon as possible. Passive, a slow poison. Your auto attacks slow the target, keeping them in an attackable distance. There is not a definitive cycle. Instead, we have variety of tools at our disposal. Even though you look like a squishy easy target, that's very far from the reality. W choice is whatever you prefer and are okay with. Test them out, figure out what is your true W. But based on the W choice, your play style would change. But no matter the W, one thing is the same. Keep spamming your Q to keep up the charges. Here is the breakdown. If you choose the first option, Forest of Spears, you need to mix it with your E. First E to keep them in place, then channel your W to deal the most damage. Use your defensives to buy time for your second E plus W combo. The defensives being Hood, Robe, Shoes, and Gigantify. If you choose the fourth option, you need to play more like a turtle, slowly closing the distance while also reflecting damage with your W and Hood, and getting hits in with your Cape and Shoes of Tenacity whenever they are off cooldown. And for the final W, the fifth option, Impaler, you need to play more aggressively, slowing them with your W, trying to be on top of them with your boot and constantly auto attacking them. Use the slow of your W as a setup for your E or your E as a setup for your W. Either would work depending on your ping. Good matchups. Bows, fire staffs, heals, swords, axes, and crossbows. Especially bows, and more specifically, warbows. It's a war of attrition, a long chasing and reflecting with Hood and fourth W. They can always reset the fight, but they can never win. Keep chasing, they are impatient children. They will make a mistake, and you will win. Bad matchups. Hammers and Grail Seekers, which bring Hellfire Potion with a Smuggler Cape. Honestly, other than that, I can't recall anything else being too much of a problem. If you think otherwise, tell me. I will see you in the comment section. Here are some builds I encountered in the Corrupted layer. we are gonna go against a life touch staff. Now I'm just gonna show you the just real potential of this build. I'm gonna show you how much damage we can deal, even though we're not bringing royal sandals. Look at him. Absolutely demolished. Now if there was no creeps, obviously he wouldn't have been one-shotted, but the entire point and the reason that you can kill heals with this build is just that you deal way too much damage to them to heal themselves back to full HP. Now even if he was able to run away, he would have been able to cast his E, his W, still in our second engagement we would have been able to kill him. Even though you're not a build that is going to stun them to death like a Brawler Gloves, or just silence them and just kill them in one combo like bolt casters, you can still out damage them and kill them, even though you're not bringing something like Royal Sandals to deal way too much damage. I mean, I've seen people that bring Berserk Potion with Pike. I believe that's a little bit too much. You don't need to do that. This build is way more versatile and you still get the damage that you need to kill your opponents. Alright, let's jump on to the next one. Alright, here we're going against a Battle Axe. Now, in this type of matchups, mostly brawlers, you have the upper hand. It's not that hard for you to kill them. You don't even need to Giga Brain it or anything. You just need to click your spells, use your spells as soon as possible, use your Gigantify as soon as possible, and just tap into your W. Now, I like to go Deflecting Spin, especially when I'm going against brawlers, because it's just way too annoying. They don't know when to attack, they don't know how to attack, and then you just chain it with your Hunter Hood, and they will make a mistake. We're gonna use our spells, Shoes of Tenacity, move away, use our Hunter Hood, and then chain it into our Deflecting Spin, and look at that. He made the mistake, he used his E. It's not even close. It's not even close. It doesn't. If you are going against brawlers, especially axes, people that don't have any stuns or silences, you can go Deflecting Spin. But in this scenario, it's an axe. It didn't matter if you went Forest of Spears or Impaler. Either way, you would have had a really easy time trying to deal with these type of builds. Simply because you counter them really hard and they can't really do much. You have way too many tools at your disposal. I mean, I didn't even use my Cleric Robe. That's how easy it was. Alright, let's jump on to the next one. Okay, in this one it has a little bit of backstory in it. I was trying to find this guy, but he went invis before I saw him with his Assassin Jacket and just ambushed me. That's why the clip starts from here. His Bow of Badon, he managed to hit me with his E, and right now, even though it looks like he has the upper hand, but not really. I mean, look at the HPs. He has done like 900 damage to me while he's at full HP. Now I want to show you what happens even though when you're behind, you can still win with this build. Amazing E right there. When you capture them in their boots, it is basically GG for them. And you remembered? He had the upper hand. He was full HP. Now look at his HP. The amount of damage that we deal with this build in just a matter of seconds, it's insane. Now he can't run away. We are slowing them with slow poison or right clicks. We're just gonna slowly get close. Shoes of Tenacity. We're gonna use our W. Look at that. Stop hitting yourself, man. Stop hitting yourself. He uses his E, but we have Cleric Robe. We deal with too much damage. We take advantage of the bonus damage from the Cleric Robe to deal more damage with our E. And even the battle started at a very disadvantaged situation. We still won because the build has so many things that we can take advantage of to just counter his moves. Whether if it's Deflecting Spin against bows, you can even go Impaler, and it is very good. But I just love to see them try to Q you and slow you down and hit themselves back. It's really satisfying. Alright, let's jump on to the next. Right, in this matchup, we're going against an Arcane staff. Now let's see if we can find them. Yeah, I really don't like people that go and hit the crystals. I wish they would change that. I mean, if you don't want to do PvP, just don't come here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why people come here to hit mobs. They're not even that good. But this guy, he wants to fight. Alright, look how the fight is going to start. Oh, awful, man, awful. Look at that. So much damage. He's at full HP, almost. Let's see what happens. Arcane staff. So much damage, bro. So much damage. This build is really good. He's going to use Mercenary Jacket. But I'm not going to use my Cleric Robe because I'm afraid of his E. So I'm going to use Gigantify and Hunterhood at the same time. So just play this little mind game to stop him from using his E and get the value that he wants out of his Mercenary Jacket. Oh, he tried to dodge my E with his W. You know, the blink. He didn't manage to do that. And even though the fight started with him being at a really big advantage, look at him. He's losing right now. They just don't expect this amount of damage and this amount of utility from such a build. Alright, he managed to purge my Cleric Robe, but now he's running away. It's not even close. He's dead. I don't know why people that bring Arcane staff don't just chain their Mercenary Jacket into their E. It's so much easier. But then you can get the value that you want. But when you don't do that, you're just gonna, end up dead. Alright, this one was an easy one. It's not that hard to counter ranged casters because you have a spear and you go a spear charge, and you can just poke them from a distance, and with Shoes of Tenacity they can't really get away. Alright, here we're against an Infernal staff. Now, fire staffs in general, you're gonna have an easy time because they don't know what to do with their W. I mean, Flame Wall is absolutely useless because you have a spear and you just poke them from a distance. And their last W, the one that shoots 3 fire bullets and leaves a fire trail, you can counter it with your Deflecting Spear or your Hunterhood. It doesn't really do much. And when they are just stationary and they're levitating in the air and they're all cool, you can deal a lot of damage to them. You're gonna have an easy time with this squishy damage that deal damage. Look at that. Flame Ball, I mean, what are you even doing? Because he's used to people bringing Assassin Shoes or Stalker Shoes and just jump him with Pike, but not this build. This build does not care about that. Look at that. One right click. If we did one right click, 900 damage. But at 700, this is too much, man. Deflecting a spin. You can also go Impaler. It's totally fine. Hunterhood. Just use our spells. Just deal damage. He's dying. I love it when they panic and they use their boots when they are rooted. Because when they do that, it's GG. It is. They can't run away. They waste their boots and he's still fighting even though he's so low. He missed his Q. I don't know what he's even doing. Again, Flame Wall. Doesn't do anything. We didn't even use our Cleric Robe nor our Gigantify. And it doesn't matter if it's a fire staff or a great fire staff, because you can actually return those damages with your Deflecting Spin and with your Hunterhood. In Infernal stuff, you cannot return the damage with of their E. You cannot return that. Against fire staff, you're even going to have an easier time to deal with them because the damage they deal is way too much for their own HP. And at the same time, you also deal way too much HP. So they're not going to stand a chance. Okay, here we have a Great Nature staff. I don't know why people bring Great Nature staff. You're literally relying on your opponent's stupidity to hit you so you could heal yourself. But whatever, I guess some people are into that shit. We deal him. Oof. You hate to see it. He read what I was going to do. He saw my build. He said, okay, he's gonna rush me and he's going to be greedy. And he was right. I was going to take all of the advantage that I could get. I wanted to use my Shoes of Tenacity, my cape, Third Foot Cape, and use my E as soon as possible to get them on their cooldowns. He read that. He used his Cleric Robe, and I wasn't able to get the value that I wanted. Now look, he should be in a huge advantage, right? We made a gigantic mistake. Here we have Impaler. So much damage. Okay, he's dealing so much damage to us. We're behind. We can't fight. One Shoes of Tenacity and it's like we're back to the same. Oh, you hate to see it, bro. You hate to see it. The goddamn W didn't hit and he was able to run away. But Shoes of Tenacity, they panic. They don't know where you are. They miss the W and you just kill them. You have way too many things for them to deal with, and you can just take advantage of that and catch them off surprise. They cannot deal with your Cleric Robe, Hunterhood, your massive massive ranged auto attacks, your massive damage with your Third Foot Cape and your E and Shoes of Tenacity at the same time. You're gonna throw them off their game. And even though it looks like you're losing, and they're gonna start, being, oh, this is an easy one. Suddenly, we turn the tables. All right, okay. Here is a longbow. Now look at the damage. One right click, we dealt 800 damage. Third foot cape, shoes of tenacity, 3 spear charges. One right click, 800 damage. Just the fight starts that way. I mean, what you gonna do? Gonna use longbow, not very good because you can return it with hunterhood, but he does have mage rope and he used it. And I made a mistake because he had mage rope and the damage, and I hit him. My spear charges just got dispelled and I wasn't able to get the value that I wanted to out of my E. He's gonna use Gigantify. That's a little bit too late on Gigantify. You should always use Gigantify early on. Even though I didn't use it because I don't need it. And I just love it when they turn back and hit you with their Q to slow you down, but you're using Deflecting spin and just return the damage, and they just can't get the value that they want. It is so good against bows. Spears are just so good, man. And especially Pike with Shoes of Tenacity. I haven't seen anyone else do this, but it is way too good. Bows are not that much of a problem. I mean, you know that. Spears counter bows. Spears counter casters. Most of the time they have issues against brawlers, but with this build you even counter brawlers. Alright, GG's. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. Also tell me in the comment section what you think about this type of content. That's it, see you next week, peace out.